Hi, folks. I hope you had a nice weekend, and I'm sorry it's taken me a little bit of time to get this lecture to you. Uh, you may see that it looks kind of like I've stroked out on part of my face. I took a couple bee stings to this area right here, which swelled my eye completely shut over the weekend and made it pretty painful to talk. So that's the delay, and sorry about that. What we're going to do today is really do a quick run through of the empire from the time of Augustus through the end of what we call the Pax Romana and the period of what historians often refer to as the Five Good Emperors, which takes us to about the beginning of the 3rd century, actually the end of the 2nd century. You'll notice on the next slide that the terms here are pretty limited. That's because each slide that I have later on is linked to a particular emperor, and there aren't necessarily a lot of terms beyond that. What I would like you to do is obviously record these questions here. So first one is that Augustus and his successors in many ways tried to make it seem like Rome as a republic was not gone when, if you were to put a kind of good set of glasses on and look at this on paper, it pretty much is. So how did these folks make it look like the Republic was still around, and how did they actually grow their own individual power and make this look much more like an empire? Over these 2 centuries, what are the big challenges that Rome faced, and how did they, in terms of government and society, respond? We're going to peel back the layers and look at the social elements of that a little bit more in class on Wednesday. Linked to that, the last question I've got here is historians call this the period of Roman peace, although there was lots of warfare. So what made this a Pax Romana? And in the middle, I'm going to do a little bit of a digression, and we'll think about how Rome and Greece, while there are lots of similarities, there are also a lot of differences too, and we're going to try and juxtapose those two societies and think about maybe why they had slightly different worldviews. Next slide, like I said, a couple of terms, and then on the third slide, I'm also not going to have a video. Instead, it is a short YouTube clip, 2-some minutes, that is one of those really cool kind of time-lapse maps that shows what the Roman Empire looked like at different periods. And I'd love for you to watch that in its entirety, but it also might be helpful when we get kind of confused in the mess of all of these emperors to go back and maybe hit pause at a particular time and see what the boundaries of Rome were like, and maybe how those boundaries might impact the decisions that certain rulers have. I'm thinking of Hadrian specifically, but all sorts of different folks. Why do the Danube and the Rhine rivers make good divisions? Why is there encroachment into and then pushback from the west? Why are there forays into England and then maybe also later some withdrawals? So that's enough on this slide. I will let you get started, and feel free, as always, to contact me if you have any questions. Otherwise, I will see you on Wednesday.